Welcome to AT Insider. My name's Eleanor, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about some myths and facts about dyslexia, based on this super cool flyer that I received in the mail from Learning Ally. Now, very quickly, if you're wondering what Learning Ally is, it is a platform that houses human-narrated audiobooks for people with diagnosed learning disabilities. And if you want to learn more about them, I've actually already made a review of their platform that I'll have linked in one of the iCards above. All right, let's jump right in. Now, I've made a couple videos similar to this one, going over the great things about dyslexia and some of the challenges that people with dyslexia face. In fact, I'm already in the middle of posting a series of videos that I've made about the superpowers that people with dyslexia hold. And sometimes I think to myself that all of these videos are a bit unnecessary. But I am frequently reminded that the belief that people with dyslexia are limited in their potential is still very prevalent among educators and the general public. So I still think it is extraordinarily critical that I make these sorts of videos. The first myth that they provide is that people with dyslexia aren't smart. And how they respond is that the truth is dyslexia has nothing to do with intelligence. Now, there are a whole host, and when I mean whole host, I mean there are a ton of research papers that you can find with the click of a few buttons on Google that will show you that there is absolutely no correlation between dyslexia and intelligence, or IQ, as some people will measure it. But I want to go one step further. How dyslexia was initially categorized was as word blindness, because a bunch of different scientists and doctors could understand that people, and this is their words, not mine, had complete cognitive function, but couldn't seem to read the words, right? So they didn't have any eyesight issues. They were complete with their cognitive function, but they were having trouble reading words specifically. So from the very foundation of people diagnosing others with dyslexia or identifying this issue, intelligence was never in the mix. It was always understood as a unique problem with people's reading capabilities, or the way that they process language in their brain. All right, the next myth that Learning Ally provides is the myth that all teachers know how to properly teach students with dyslexia. And Learning Ally states that the truth is, quote, many teachers have not received specialized training to provide effective instruction for students with dyslexia, or even to recognize dyslexia in the classroom. And I can attest that both of the aspects of that truth are correct. Firstly, so many teachers don't know how to recognize dyslexia, and I am the outcome of that fact. I went late diagnosed and was only diagnosed in 6th grade. That's because I had, again, 6 teachers who didn't properly recognize the fact that I was dyslexic. So that's incredibly accurate. And additionally, so many teachers still aren't properly trained in how to properly educate or even understand the needs of students with dyslexia. All right, the next myth that Learning Ally points out is the myth that dyslexia can be outgrown. No, it can't. Dyslexia is a lifelong issue. And although you may find the right accommodations and assistive technology that help you meet your form of success, you never outgrow dyslexia. It's a unique way that your brain processes language and that you can't outgrow. So no, you cannot outgrow dyslexia. All right, the next myth that Learning Ally presents is the myth that using audiobooks is cheating. Now, I've actually already made a video on this channel a month or 2 back about is using accommodations cheating, where I break down a super simple example that effectively communicates that no, it's not cheating. But just to be uber clear, using audiobooks is not cheating. If I were to not have access to audiobooks, I would not be able to reach my form of success. And so what allowing me to use audiobooks does, or providing me the accommodation, let's say, to use audiobooks or a reader during a test, it levels the playing field, which is an example of equity instead of equality. And if you want to know the difference between equity and equality, I've also made a video about that you can find on my channel or linked in one of the iCards above. All right, I hope this added a little bit of clarification if you were confused by any of the very common myths that I presented today. and I hope you learned a little bit more about dyslexia, about yourself, about your student, or about your child. If you want to see any more videos from me, videos like this, where I talk candidly about my experience and the experiences of others with dyslexia, or videos where I review specific assistive technology products or accommodations, you can head to my channel and just check out the rest of my catalog of videos. You can also head to my website, which will be the first link in the description below. On my website, I have a whole host of written articles, if that's what you like, going over assistive technology products. There's also some content exclusive to the website, so I suggest you check out both. All right, I hope you have a great day. I know you can do it. Bye.